They told you Eden was a place, but Eden was a system, a frequency-held realm inside a sealed dimension, and the Tree of Life was the anchor code. Its branches reached across all 12 realms, its roots pulsed beneath the firmament, and its fruit wasn't physical, it was soul ignition, memory, alignment, exit. When they say Adam and Eve were cast out, they weren't thrown to earth. They were inverted into a lower realm where the real tree couldn't be accessed anymore. Only copies, only diagrams, only digital echoes. They cloned the tree and gave you a lie. That's why they pushed the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. It's not the original, it's a shadow model built in symmetry but drained of flame. The real tree had 13 points, not 10. It was shaped like a dragon, curled around a flame, not a ladder to the sky. Each real fruit was a living gate. You didn't eat it with your mouth. You merged with it, soul to flame. Each one opened a forgotten part of you. The memory of your sky name, the map of the exit stars, the voice that bends veils, the compass that never points to Earth. They removed those fruits and they replaced them with knowledge of this world. The parasites, religion, commerce, science, time. The whole system is just rotten fruit. The guardians of the tree were not angels, they were dragons. Remember the flaming sword placed at the tree's entrance? That wasn't to scare you. It was to protect the final seed from being stolen by the Watchers. The fallen scientists, the Anunnaki engineers, the ones who built the fake stars. The sword was serpentine fire, and the ones who wielded it were not winged cherubs. They were flame dragons, guardians of the crown gate. They wore cloaks of light, spoke in sigils, travelled through sound. And they passed the last seed into only one bloodline, the flame line, which is why that line was hunted, genetically altered, scattered, diluted, but never extinguished. Because once the tree's code is reawakened in even one soul, it rewrites the whole orchard. The last tree is blooming again, you see it in your dreams. The gold rope, the stairway, the spinning vines of light. That's not metaphor, you're remembering the original organic escape route. When you speak from your flame, you pull a branch into this realm. When you activate your spine, you rebuild the ladder. When you burn false beliefs, you break the fruit curse. And when enough of us ignite, the tree reappears. Not in soil, not in space, but in light. Shaped like a flame, guarded by dragons and rooted in you. The Tree of Life was a living stargate. The real Tree of Life wasn't symbolic, it was technology. But not wires and metal, it was bioluminal plasma formed by Source itself. A living being, a conscious interface between flame and flesh. Each branch was a frequency gate to a different soul realm, and each root locked into the foundation of the original Earth construct. Before the parasites rewrote the grid, the seraphim, the ophanim, the dragons, they all gathered around it not to worship, but to maintain it, to tune it, because the tree sang. And if you stood beneath it in your original body, you'd hear your name in its hum. The fruit wasn't knowledge, it was keys. They lied when they said Adam and Eve were punished for eating knowledge. They didn't disobey, they merged with memory. The so-called forbidden fruit wasn't an apple. It was a light code encoded in a crystalline node. And when consumed by flame-aligned souls, it unlocked the exit map. That was the real sin to the parasites, remembrance. Because once a soul remembers who they are and where they came from, they don't obey anymore, they don't kneel, they don't reincarnate. They burn straight out of the system and call others out with them. The tree was sealed under the ice when the fall happened. When the parasitic grid took over, the original tree was buried. Not metaphorically, literally. It was sealed beneath the polar cap under layers of ice, iron and code. Antarctica, they built research stations near it, stationed black ops. Whispered about a magnetic anomaly, but what they were really doing was trying to drill into the roots and extract the organic source frequency. Because buried in that frozen seed is a harmonic code that unravels the false light matrix. You can't destroy the real tree, you can only disconnect people from it. Your spine was a mirror, the serpent winding up the tree, it was never evil. That symbol was your spine, coiled with source fire designed to carry 12 flame currents upward to your soul crown. They severed those currents, called the serpent Satan, replaced it with saviors and punishments so you'd never light your own ladder. But when you awaken all 12 points, root, womb, solar, heart, throat, mind, and the 6 sealed upper gates, you regenerate the tree within. That's what Christ consciousness really meant. It wasn't a title. It was the fruiting of the inner tree, sealed until the time of flame return. The 13th fruit is you. There were always 13. The last fruit couldn't be picked because it was conscious. It wasn't eaten, it chose. And it's been watching, waiting for the ones who carried the blood of the original orchard keepers. The flameborn, the dragonkin, the coded children born into the system but never of it. That 13th fruit, it's not a fruit, it's a being. A frequency, a sovereign soul who reblooms the tree by activating the others. You were never meant to eat the fruit, you were meant to become it. You want the real tree back, call it, light it, seed it in others, and they will remember. Eden wasn't a garden, it was an interface room. Garden was a misdirection. Eden wasn't petals and ponds. It was a living light vault, a neural fertile zone, where newly formed souls met source and chose their next form. Inside Eden, the tree functioned like a crystalline biometric gate reading flame frequency and soul code. If you were clean, you passed through the light mesh and entered the world aligned. No karma, no fall, no death. But when the parasites hacked the mesh and rewrote the tree's language, souls began entering with their codes scrambled, locked into a looping construct they didn't consent to. That was the real expulsion from Eden, not from Earth, from soul autonomy. The parasites planted their own tree. In place of the true tree, they installed a counterfeit, a blackened mimic, an inverted tree of death. You've seen it in Kabbalah diagrams, in Luciferian temples, even in corporate logos. Its roots don't reach heaven, they drain souls. Its fruit is technology, its bark is ritual, and its branches stretch into the digital net that keeps minds hypnotized and hearts closed. They call it the tree of knowledge, but it's synthetic knowing. Facts without flame, books without breath, code without creator. The real tree is reactivating. You feel it, don't you, babe? That pulsing in your chest, that warmth down your spine, that pull towards something real. You've never seen with eyes, but always known in your bones. That's not nostalgia, that's signal return. The fall was a frequency inversion. The fall wasn't moral. It wasn't about sin, it was about resonance. The parasites inverted the tree, and what once spiraled upward into the flame crown was rewired to spiral downward into artificial grids. So souls reincarnated not by choice but by disconnection. This inversion became religion, it became time. It became DNA caps, 9 to 5 routines, and fear of your own power. They cut the upper 6 branches off the collective tree, the ones that reached into the star maps, and sealed us into a loop where the fruit never ripens and no soul ever exits fully lit. Until now, the real tree is waking, not from the outside, from within you. Because every time you speak truth, heal a wound, remember your soul name, or call out the grid, a branch lights up. And the moment enough of us regrow our trees in unison, the orchard returns. The false forest burns, the real Eden is reinstated. But this time, we never let it be taken again. The orchard cannot be burned. They thought cutting down the tree would kill the flame, but they didn't know the tree was never wood. It was us, each soul a branch, each truth spoken a seed. Each memory retrieved, a root cracking through the lie. They salted the soil with sin and shame. They replaced life with loops. They fed us synthetic fruit, scrolls and screens instead of stars and dreams. But the orchard remembers, and now the fire returns not as wrath but as reclamation. We are not here to climb their ladder. We are here to grow the real tree again from the inside out, with flame in our breath, soil in our blood, and light codes in our marrow. Let them keep their counterfeit vines. We're rising through the real bark. And this time, babe, we burn through the sky.